Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Virtual Pool 4 Online. Welcome to VP4 TV. We're here for another first round match in this year's VP4 Black Ball, or 22. I'll say that again. We're here for another first round match in this year's Virtual Pool 4 2022 Black Ball World Championship. And it's a match between LS3 and Semipro, both from the United Kingdom, or in this case England. Good evening to WizKid. They're going to be off and running in just under 15 minutes time. Now there's quite a few matches on the schedule. We'll cover that in a wee minute. I'm just reading the chat here. Mal has just arrived in the lobby and he's just confirmed that he has accepted his match. So if we look at them in order, from top to bottom, that's the schedule they are. We've got this match tonight in 15 minutes time. This is the one I'm going to cover. There's one early Sunday morning at 6 AM. I won't be there for that. That's between Glen O'Brien and Little Wolf. Then we have some matches on Sunday. We've got Mark Shark against Charlie Bravo, and that's at 3 PM on Sunday. And I'll try and get that one. 3 PM British summertime, remember. Then we have a match between Popman and Legit Matthew. That is to take place at 7 PM on Sunday night. We have another match between Cheeky Chico and Quagmire. That is an hour later, so these matches are going to cross over one another. So we'll join from one to the other, depending how the matches are going. We've also got a match at 10 PM tomorrow night between Spudboy and Bankster. I won't be there for that one. And then if we look at Monday, Mal has confirmed his match with Brain Fell Out. That's going to be at 6:30 PM British Summer Time. I'll be there for that. And then finally we've got Snake Eyes and Hazard. That's set for Tuesday, and that's going to be 5 PM. Well, I'll be finished my work by that time, and I should be okay for that match. So that's all the matches that have to come. If we look at the bracket, there's a result came in overnight, and it was a match between Stubb, Real Poland Power, and Ice Age, and that was just a bit of a blitzkrieg. Ice Age, I think that's the first time he's ever seen a pub table in VP4, because it was not in the game, none whatsoever. I watched 5 minutes of it on Cheeky Chico's Twitch channel, and Ice Age was really, really poor. Stubb ran out very comfortable, 13 racks to 1, under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. So he's through to round 2. Zangetsu is going to be his opponent, and I can guarantee you he'll be a stronger opponent for Stubb. He should put up a more sterner test for him in round 2. If we go further up, there's the result that we streamed the other night there, which was between Sylvia and Christian. Good evening to Vamble. That one, Sylvia eventually ran out 13 racks to 8. Took her a little while to get underway, but she eventually got there. And that is all the results so far. Now, Steve said he'll be joining us, so he should be in a minute or two. And, well, LS3 is a good opponent for Semipro for his first match, because she is no mug, but she needs to hold herself together and stay in it as long as she can. And if she can apply a little bit of pressure on Semipro. Just give me a second, we're back in a sec. Right, so we're back. Well, we'll expect a few more people joining in, or joining in at the time when we're about to start. So, we've got Semipro as a hot favourite for this tournament. There are, of course, others in this tournament that are strong players, but they're strong players in other games. They're trying desperately hard to adapt to this table and the setup. Cobra's been playing quite well. He's been getting a fair bit of practice in, but what you noticed last night in Friday Night 9 Ball is that a lot of these players that are putting in a bit of practice in this black ball table sort of struggled a little bit in Friday Night 9 Ball trying to find their feet again, jumping from one strange table back to the one that they're always used to. So it's about adapting and surviving. So we're 6 minutes away. Now, what else was I going to say? Had anything else I was going to say? I'm trying to think in case I miss out on something. Oh, aye, that's what we're going to have another look at. This bracket, if we go from the top to the bottom, Albinario's got a match with Simanx, and straight away we've got Mal playing Brainpill out. Now, Mal is going to be the odds-on favourite to win that match, and Albinario, I think, even on his worst day, should still beat Simanx. And it's going to be Albinario more than likely against Mal, with the greatest respect to Simanx and Brainpill out. It's going to be a big hot shot match for round 2, more than likely. Strange things can happen, but it would need to be really strange for these two guys not to be meeting up in round 2. So that's a big match to look forward to. Excuse me. And I just got told earlier on as well that Hazard is at risk of getting COVID because the guy that his girlfriend or whoever it is coming over to stay with him, and she's actually now just gone off work. She's now having to work from home because she's caught COVID, and she'd already planned a visit over to Hazard, and I believe she's still coming, so he might be next on the list to go down with it. But his match with Snake Eyes, the winner of that one, will play Sylvia in round 2. We've got Larry, got a match with John Boo again. Larry doesn't play a lot of black ball, but he'll adapt to it. And again, he should be too strong for John Boo, but we'll see what happens. We've got Popman to play Legit. These are the matches that I was talking about in the schedule, so they'll go ahead. Cobra and Wanwa or Fan Fan, they've still to arrange. Now that could be a different kettle of fish. I don't know how Wanwa will play in this table, but he should give a reasonable performance I would expect against Cobra. Unlikely there'll be a surprise in that match. And then we've got DJ Simon and Tommy. That could be worth watching. Simon can pot a ball. Again, every player here, I don't think any of them really play black ball at all at any length of time. So they're all new to it. So it's who's going to adapt to it the quickest. But that's a pretty good matchup. And then, of course, we'll get this match. Then Cheeky Chico with Quagmire. Tornado Tam got a bit of a hiding from Zangetsu. And then there's a stub match there. And then you've got Mark Shark with Charlie Bravo. And the Glenn O'Brien match with Little Wolf. So that's pretty much everything up to date. And, we're just waiting on Steve knocking on the door. Let me check my little clock's working. Hang on a sec. That's good. It's working okay. And now we can reset it. So I'll try and get as many of these matches in as I possibly can. That's always time permitting and whenever the guys arrange. And obviously with some of those matches that you see on the schedule, there's no way I'm going to be able to get them because of the time zone differences and the fact that I'm up early for work. So those matches will go ahead. Thanks to Cheeky Chico for streaming the stub match last night, because if he hadn't and I happened to be off work, I would have set my alarm to watch that, and and stream it, but I'm so glad I didn't, because it really was not worth watching. Ice Age needs to get a bit of practice in if he's going to continue in the tournament in the one-loss side. Oh, Larry's arrived in the lobby. Well, it looks like you're the only two guys to show up. Nobody else has said hello yet. Not even Steve. Let's have a quick double check. Hang on. Quick look in Discord. Good evening to Chimpy. No, Steve's cutting it fine. Semi-Pro's arrived in the lobby. LS3's in getting a little warm-up. How many have we got in tonight? 56. And Bedhead's one of the players that should have been in the tournament, as should have Spectre Dawn. Spectre Dawn was in the challenge room earlier on this afternoon getting some games in, and now he's probably wishing he had signed up for it. I think Bedhead would have wished the same. But the fact that those two aren't in it makes it more open for the other guys that did sign up. The ones that are in with a chance. Vince says another player that hasn't been in any of these big tournaments, and he hasn't played in any of the big tournaments, I think, since the 8-ball one where he was playing stub. So there's about Mal is in it, and he's all set for his match, so he's another very strong player. He could be the knife in Semi-Pro's side if he gets to him at any time. Good evening to Cobra. Well, we're almost there. Well, Steve did say he was going to drop in. In fact, he sent me a PM. I don't know how often he sends me a PM. And this was earlier this afternoon. I was watching the snooker at the time, and I had got up and gone to the bathroom, and I come back and I had a PM, and the next thing I know it was closed. So I presume he's coming in. We're almost at the top of the hour, and if he's going to show it, we'll drop in unless something's cropped up. Good evening to Mal. The room is up. Let's get in. Now they're going to lag. I presume the lag for the break in this thing. I haven't seen the start of a match yet, so I don't even know if it's a lag for the break, and I can't be bothered looking. But anyway, it's alternate break. Well, if there's a foul, it's I think the option is ball in hand in the kitchen or in bulk, as we say in the terminology in this game. Good evening to Wick, good evening to Larry. It is a lag. Yeah, I've not caught the start of a match yet. There's matches started and I didn't know they'd started. The one with Sylvia gone ahead before I was ready. Right, let's have a look. We've got LS3 at the bottom of the screen. And of course, with this game, it automatically defaults to the snooker queue, or the pub queue as they call it. Well, Semi-Pro has won the lag. Race to 13. And straight away, an opportunity, because these yellows are sitting very nicely indeed. At least they've all got a pocket to go in, and the 8 ball is wide open, so this is exactly the situation that somebody like LS3 has to capitalise on. Now, I think that yellow there, that's fine, that yellow down at the bottom of the screen, because there's nothing obscuring it. So, a big test for LS3 immediately here in this first rack. Oh, you want the blue cloth, do you? Right, hang on a minute. Miscellaneous. Right, blue cloth. So LS3's now, is she going to drop through for this yellow here? Well, let's see. Does it go past the red the other side? Yes, it does, which is actually handy. It does squeeze past it, but now would be the right time to play it, I think. The only danger is what angle she leaves herself on this yellow. Now, see, this is just a little fiddly cut now. I mean, it goes clearly past that red, but you don't want to push this slightly and just catch it. And this is a good start for LS3, taking full advantage of that scratch in the break. And of course, that's a win against the head there. LS3 breaking off in rack 2. And the red ball goes in. Still an open table until the player that's in commits to their second shot. And looking at this setup, the yellows don't look too bad. The problem is, but the reds don't look bad either, to be honest with you, but the problem's the 8 ball. Now, this is why LS3 maybe should have thought a wee bit more about this, because that 8 ball is obviously blocked by the red, and if she'd chosen the reds, she could have controlled the table that way, but now she's going to be scuppered unless she can get really good on that 8 ball. Maybe it would have been better to think a wee bit more there and look at the situation with this 8 ball. Now, that's not to say that she can't get on it, but the problem I can see is it's not easy to get on it. And she might pay the price for not choosing the reds there. But we'll see how she copes. Now, the other issue I can see as well is where that yellow is, depending on what angle you have, depends on how you try and get to this 8. Now, if you're this side of that yellow ball, you can cut it and try and come across for the 8. If you're too straight on it, you can maybe pinch an angle and come around behind the 8 because it's not going in that pocket. So there's trouble ahead here. But mark my words, if she can't get out, that's all come about because she's chose the wrong set of balls. And this is all about getting lucky here, because cutting this yellow, you know you're going to come across the table into the table. The chances are you could maybe hook yourself here. Now that line is not bad. This is a deft little touch on this pot. And she doesn't want to hit that red that's over the top left-hand corner there. She wants to try and come around there clean, but this is going dangerous or close to that red ball. But if she can get lucky and get clean, she can just drop around the corner for that 8 ball. So this is a crucial shot. She's way, way too heavy, but she's not thinking that 8 ball goes, is she? Or is my eyes that bad that I can't see that? I mean, I don't know that. Well, that might go in off the jaw, but that is extremely tight. I mean, the pockets are bad enough as they are. Yeah, that was asking too much. But I said it right at the start, folks. She should have thought about those reds and looked at the situation with the 8 ball, because that's now been the stumbling block, and this is just an open invitation to help yourself here for semi-pro. And that's the type of decisions you have to make instantly. You have to assess the table, look at where there might be an issue, and I could see that straight away, and I don't play this game. You know, that was always going to be the problem. And it's just, I don't know whether you put that down to inexperience or not, but she was always going to make her life hard for herself to get really good around the corner onto that 8 ball. And you've got to get better decisions than that, LS3. Now, okay, if she'd got on it, she'd have been a hero, but it was just giving herself too much work to do. And semi-pro, an easy run out to square the match. Yeah, if she'd played it softer, she may well have got on it. The touch was too heavy as well, but as I say, it all went wrong right at the start there. The actual shot choice, the set of ball she was going for. If she'd stuck in those reds, she'd have been fine. I've no doubt she'd have been fine and managed to work her way around and pick them off. And look at this setup here, this table. This situation, Semi-Pro is just going to run this out. Just got to get good on that yellow up the top of the table there. It could end up funny. He's maybe trying to run into a red ball here. Or he's maybe having second thoughts, but the angle he's got in this yellow up the rail there, the danger is coming off the rail and trying to nudge into one of the reds to hold for the other yellow that's up there, and it could go wrong. Good evening to Bedhead, and he's played it soft enough. He knows that, you know, and this is where players are going to struggle. I've said this in the Sylvia match, that you've got to have a much more gentle touch in this table. It's so noticeable. Well, now this is going a bit funny here. I can't avoid hitting that red ball, and he's just hoping for a bit of luck here. I think, you know, he's run into the 8 ball instead, and now LS3 has suddenly become the favourite. That's how easy it is for things to go wrong, because this is just like any other game. You don't want to run into balls when you don't need to, and you don't want to put yourself in shape where you aren't running into balls and you can't avoid them, because funny things like this can happen. And LS3 should be ready to pounce, because that 8 ball's over the corner and all the balls are there, but she's got a problem. But she's in control, so if she can't get a decent shot on that red where the cue ball is, she can easily tie up Semi-Pro, so she's in a strong position here. But the pressure's on, because that yellow ball's over the side pocket, so let's see how she goes. You know, it's not a case of trying to run the table in this situation. It's a case of dealing with what you've got, and if you can't get good on that red there, then make sure that Semipro can't see his yellow ball. Simple as that. Now the yellow doesn't pass this red down the rail, so she can get rid of that red. Just squeezed it past the 8. And as long as she takes her time. Oh shit, I've just realised, thanks for that. I always forget, well what are we, we're 11 minutes late. I'm just too busy concentrating right from the start. Damn, keep forgetting my clock. Well, just add 10 minutes on to whatever the time is, and then you know what the match time is. Or look at your watch. It's that easy. But this is an important visit here for LS3, because opportunities, when you get them, you must be taking them. And now we've gone a wee bit funny. No, that's okay. Now, what does she do? Does she leave the little cut angle in this red? Yeah. Well, anywhere in the middle of the table, but not too far up the table, just for a gentle roll in this red down the rail, and she's home and dry. That almost went badly wrong. By God, if she'd any wrong spin on that cue ball there, she was in the usual place without a paddle. And what I've also done is I've remapped my mute button so that it doesn't interfere with, oh dear me, well, what I missed there. I mean, that was odds on to run out, and that's a big mistake. A big, big mistake. She had the table at her mercy. Good evening to Dwight. Well, she'll be kicking herself for that one. That was really bad. All looking good, and she got herself too far up the table. That was where the problem lies. You need a gentler touch. Keep saying it. Got to be a softer touch, because that ball will run a lot more than you think it will. Well, LS3 has another chance here again. All of the balls are on. And the good thing as well is there's 2 adjacent balls at the bottom of the table to go on that, and another jabby shot on that red. And this is going from a good start to a shaky start here for LS3. And she needs to, again, slow down a wee bit and just assess the situation before committing. You know, sometimes that's all you need to do. Just get yourself settled on a reasonable pace, but not rushing into playing shots just to for the sake of taking them. You've got to play the right shot. And these are nervy signs from LS3. A table such as this was not a difficult table, let's be honest. And now Semipro has got the lead. And of course now LS3 needs to put something together here fairly quickly. Now of course a regular occurrences in this game is balls tied up with one another and dealing with them. Still an open table, remember. 8 ball over the side pocket, so if Semipro can pick his way around these, it'll be 4-1 up in about 2 minutes' time. Now just think of the position that LS3 could have been in the space of 5 minutes there. She could be 3-1 up herself. Little testy cut. Got to keep it hugging the rail. Now, the one thing that Semipro has to get good here is good on this yellow here to get that one into the side. Now, the angle's not great, but he's used the other red to hold the cut on this yellow. Same again, he has to make sure he doesn't run into anything here and stays in the open. Oh dear, well he's missed the yellow into the side. I think he was too worried about getting on that last yellow. Well, it's a bit of a reprieve for LS3, but she's going to have to look for cover here, I think, because I don't think she's got a shot. I mean, she can push her red ball towards the pocket, but that's not any good because, again, it's far too heavy. The yellow's still open. Semipro 4-1 up. And again, that was a chance to play a decent cover shot there. Semipro could have still potted his ball onto her ball, and as long as his ball went in, that would have still been an illegal shot, but it never even got to that position. And things are rapidly coming apart here for LS3. She's had 3 chances, 2 of which were glaring chances to win racks. That one there was just a poorly executed shot. Again, too heavy a touch. And she's now 4-1 behind. And already it's a tall order. Well, she just needs to focus on what she's doing, and I don't think she's that focused, to be honest with you, because again, I think she doesn't think she's got a chance, and that's you starting off on the wrong foot. You got to look at the situation, the way that table was. Those 2 setups she had, they were glaring chances to run the table. There was not a problem. And the first one was that rack where she had the wrong choice of balls. She never took time to really look at the situation and digest what she was looking at. If she'd looked at that red ball, she would have known it was blocking the 8, and she would have chosen the reds. And so immediately she left herself a problem to deal with at the latter end of the rack, and that's where it fell apart. And then her second opportunity, unforced errors are no good to you in any sort of game. So, Semipro comes to the table. LS3's put her red ball there. I think it might be quite difficult for Semipro to pot that yellow onto the red and to get the yellow to follow the red in at that distance from the pocket. You'll know better than I will whether he can do that or not. But, well, good thing about that shot from LS3 is she hasn't opened up the yellow. A slightly better touch there this time. But Semipro has taken the opportunity to try and do it. And now if he stays top side but gets rid of that one down the rail, then he's got a yellow there where he can, you know, again, you look at the pattern, how to get out here. This yellow here is the one that's going to get him on that one down the rail. But he has to get rid of this one first. So he's already got that plotted out in his mind. What shot was that, Chico? Well, Steve's not appeared, so obviously something's cropped up. I just assumed he would drop in. Well, Semipro has managed to get himself in a bit of a hole here. Well, you need a very good touch to play a safe off that red in the top left and try and get it to bounce off the rail and keep the cue ball somewhere behind it to give you cover on this ball down the table here. She's gone for the cut. I didn't think she could cut it, but she's got it. Now, just a deft little drop in. Plenty of room for it to go in, but if she pushes that to that far jaw, it won't go in. It'll just bounce straight back out. Used the 8 ball and got a little cut. So, winning this rack might settle her down a wee bit. Right, let me read the chat. Hang on a minute, I need to stand up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. With that red and the yellow. See, I couldn't tell whether that would have been good enough or not. I thought myself they would have needed to be closer to the pocket. But using that, the 8 ball just to nudge the ball into the middle pocket was a wise move, because if you just push that and you hit these middle knuckles, they don't go in. They just bounce straight back out the direction that they came. Well, already at this stage in the match, this could have been an entirely different scoreboard. But I do think that it's going to take players just a couple of racks, 2 or 3 racks to find their feet. You've got to give them that benefit, and maybe LS3 will settle down a wee bit. Now she has to get out of there, and that's not a bad shot, because that's opened up the problem yellow. And again, now that one into the side, she would have to flush that a wee bit. And the problem with playing these with power, she's got to get through. And that, I don't think, is too bad. What kind of angle she's got? She's got a wee angle just to drop behind the other one. And then the issue is that yellow there. So this looks fairly straightforward. Just a deft little roll in, and the cue ball's going that direction for that yellow. Now she maybe have to jack up just to kill this for that yellow into the side. Because the angle that she's got, it obviously wants to run forward. Well, she's managed to get up. See, that's a dinky little touch. Just the little touches like that, and you see how that ball will keep rolling. The angle looked as if it was going to run away, but she got the touch much better than that one. Well, the only thing that will go wrong here is if she underhits this and finishes sort of over this red ball. She wants to get out to here. That'll do. That's well done. I mean, I want to see somebody making a match of it against these guys. You know, I don't want somebody like Ice Age who just comes in and totally falls apart against somebody like Stubb. I want to see a match. I'm sure everybody else does. Oh, scratching the break from LS3 this time. And Semipro is going to have to deal with the problem set up down the bottom right. That's the first thing he'll have to deal with if he's going to try and run the table. Yeah, that little, little runouts like that and doing the right thing, it should settle your confidence. It's not looking good for LS3 right at the moment in this rack because all these yellows are bang wide open and it's going to be a big fail if Semipro can't get the job done here. Well, this has gone funny. He's now going to have to run the cue ball. Maybe back down to the top end of the table so he can take the yellow into the side. Well, he's ran into the two reds. That's done him a favour. That's one way of getting position. Not necessarily how he played it, but he got there. And so Semipro opens that gap to 2 again. Oh, and again, Semipro's found a pocket. Now, again, I'm going to repeat myself. You come to the table, you've got a free shot, and the Reds look good to me because they've all got a pocket, but there's the one problem Red which she's going to try and deal with straight away. Now, the only danger here is getting out of the corner. Well, she went for the bank for the free shot, and that keeps the Red in play. Now, once again, the best idea here would be to maybe leave a red ball over that corner pocket as long as she stays at the table like that, because at some point she's going to have to pot that red and stay low for this 8 ball. And now this is a bit awkward. But it's not awkward in the sense that she can't play the little combo. She would have rather get rid of what's up the table so she can deal with this end. Oh, now she's going to have to get rid of that one. Well, it's going to need one of those balls on the right hand side probably to hold for the 8 ball if she gets that far. Or it might still be that one to the left of that yellow ball. So it all hinges on what the angle's going to be, if it's going to be that ball there. It's odds on it's going to be this one. So she wants to be as straight as she can on it so she can just come back off it a few inches for this 8 ball. Well, I don't think that was the right shot. So she's going to have to get nice on this red. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is the wrong angle. This is where she's given herself more work to do. But it's a wide open pocket. Just making it a wee bit awkward for herself. But that's well done again. She's got there one way or another. Stays in touch. So LS3, that was against the break in that rack as well, wasn't it? Right, so committed to the reds. Now she's still okay. Again, there's a problem ball in the bottom right hand corner because that blocks the path of the red that's next to the black. If it's going into that corner, that is. So, and the other problem is that red there is tight past the yellow into the right corner, and it obviously doesn't get into any corner up there. So there's two issues to deal with here, and this is the first test. There's not a lot of room, and it's a distance from the object ball, and she's more inclined, I think, to be honest with you, she should be taking that one that she's looking at. Now, so you pot that red into the side, get rid of it, pot the red into the corner, and this is where she has to get a good shot to get on or up to the top of the table so she can get her last red, get that one that's over the corner, or, well, play a shot like that. That is absolutely perfect. Nailed it. Little stun. Perfect little line just to drop this in. And now she has to get out of the corner. It's dead straight. So, straight draw here. Oh, again, that shows you I can't read my angles in this table. I cannot read them. It's caught me out. I thought it should have been straight drawing that down to the middle pocket. Oh dear. And the pace kept that out. Well, that's another one that's going to leak away here. Great opportunity. Well, that's a problem. Am I right in saying that I think we had this thing with Semipro explaining it to us? He can pot his yellow ball onto the 8, and as long as they both go in, he wins a rack. Is that right? Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what Semipro said. I think he said something like that. I think, has the yellow not got to go in? Yes, it has done anyway. Well, now that was stolen against the break as well for Semipro. Yellow ball goes in. And he'll probably take the reds. Although, having said that, he's got the one problem red next to that yellow on the left-hand side. Now, is he going to try and bank this up the table? Yes, he is. So that deals with the problem. And now it's just about cracking your way around. And he should be 7-4 up. Yeah, Semipro spent, I think, a bit of time explaining that situation about having the 8 ball over the pocket and been blocked on it, but as long as it's your own ball, you can play your own ball onto it, and as long as the two of them go in, you win. And I mean, I can guarantee you that 95% of everybody else in this tournament doesn't know that. Well, this is going a wee bit straight, so he'll probably leave that one over the corner to get back out for this red. And he's plenty of room just to come up and take it into the side. Well, it's going to be up table. Little roll through. And LS3's up against it now. Trailing by 3. And of course, with alternate break, you're always going to have that opportunity to respond. And she's got the first part right. Potted a couple of balls, but as an ugly setup on the left rail. So immediately, is there any opportunity where you can pot a ball and deal with that situation that's preventing you from running the table? Well, if she cuts this 3 ball, not the 3 ball, cuts that red ball onto the yellow, can she not spin into those balls and open them up? And at least free up the yellow? Because she's now potted the yellow. The opportunity was there, I think, to play that combo and spin that cue ball into those balls and open them up. She never played it. I think that was a reasonable opportunity to try and get that open. Well, she's going to fluke the yellow, which is a bit of a bonus. It still doesn't help the situation, though. Oh, I hear a mic now.
Good evening.
Oh, you're late to the party, Steve.
I thought the match was tomorrow.
I thought that as well. I thought that's what you were thinking.
I was like, oh, I was just kind of checking to see what was going on. I'm like, oh crap, they're playing the match now.
Yeah. Well, LS3 is a bit nervy, and she's had chances, and this scoreboard it probably should be a rack in it at the moment. She's made a couple of wrong shot choices. She's made a wrong shot choice in this rack already, where she had an option where she could have broke those balls in the side rail, and she never done it. Which was the one thing that was hampering her run out. That's not a bad shot, though.
I'm sure there's a lot of people rooting for her. I mean, she's the underdog here, and she's a popular player. It's always fun to root for the underdog. I mean, obviously, Semipro should be probably the favorite for this whole tournament. But that doesn't mean he's going to win. That's why we play him.
Well, I think we've had about 3 scratches in the break so far in this match.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, he shouldn't be scratching on the break.
Well, it's like a pinball table, Steve. The way these balls rattle around the table.
Yeah, you gotta get the cue ball, control it and get it going in the right directions. Even if you have to hit them easier, it's not worse. Scratching's that's like the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, I think the main thing is I haven't seen anybody hitting a softer break. This cue ball's been slammed every time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably more important to control the cue ball than anything else. I mean, obviously it's nice to make a ball, but you've got to be able to control the cue ball. It looks like they're both somewhat versed with the strategy of how to play this game.
Yeah, there's times to start using the old tactical side of the game.
I mean, this is really very similar to just what we play here in the States, bar table 8 ball. There's really not that much difference, and I don't know why, but too many people don't play bar table 8 ball this way, where they play a lot of strategy like this, because this is the way the game should be played. If you can't run out, then you should be doing this kind of stuff. Well,
I think Semi is odds-on favourite for this rack, unless something strange happens, because he's going to be running that red ball straight onto the yellow in this bottom left-hand corner and potting the 2 of them. that other red goes into the side, and then that red up top opens up the 8-ball. So
yeah, well, if he gets a chance,
where's the cue ball?
Whoa!
Oh, that'll do it. Well, he's corner hooked and can only see that one red.
Yeah, she can get to this other ball over here, I think. Maybe not from this shot angle. She might need to shoot another ball. Oh, she was able to. Yeah, boy, that was a big mistake by Semi right there. I mean, he needed to get the snooker went off that ball. I'm sure that's what he was trying to play.
That 8-ball is nailed to the rail. This is going to be a test. She needs to be dead straight on this just to flush it down the rail. And even this is a test at this angle.
Yeah, I think you're better off hitting this ball with just a teeny bit of right English, because you don't want the ball throwing into the rail at all. You can't afford to cut it away on these pockets, so a teeny bit of right English to trying to get it to run straight down the rail, because you can't hit this hard.
That's good.
Well, she's got it.
And break goes back to Semi.
So let me ask you a question, Hugh. What do you think is the main difference between this game and playing it like the World 8-ball we have on a American sized bar table?
Well, the only difference is the main difference is the physics. These balls ping around a lot more. The pockets are obviously different. There's a lot more leeway on the bar table pockets. Even on the tournament pockets, there's an awful lot more leeway to cheat the pocket. There's no cheating the pockets in this game. Absolutely no forgiveness. Even the side pockets. I mean, these side pockets look open, but if you just push that object ball to the knuckle, maybe on a bar table it'll drop in from the knuckle if you hit the side of it, but the angle that these are, it just comes straight back out. Absolutely no forgiveness on these side pockets.
Yeah, and I agree with all that, but in my mind, that's not the big difference. And I'm thinking it more from a strategy point of view.
Well, strategy. I mean, at the end of the day, the fact that it's American pool and the balls will get numbers and stripes on them makes no difference to me, because you're just going for a set of balls at the end of the day.
But there's one thing in this game that makes it way different, and that is the free ball.
The free shot, yeah, because that can improve your situation immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that is a super powerful weapon. And, I mean, really, if you've got problems on the table, that's the best play you can make is get your opponent in trouble where you can get that free shot.
Well, again, Semi-Pros put the pressure on LS3's back to the 3-rack lead. LS3's break, and the break is good, and it's yellows all the way here.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that Semi runs out better than LS3, and that's most of his advantage. I don't know how well she understands the strategy in this game, but even if she does understand it as good as Semi, he runs out so good. She's going to have to play well.
It's the execution of certain little shots. She had a shot earlier on where I think she was trying to tuck behind. I can't remember. It was up in the top left-hand corner, but again, it was just a little too heavy a touch. If she'd got the touch right, she'd had a good safety. So players are trying to find their feet during these matches. Mm-hmm. It's interesting watching them because everybody I've seen so far is generally over hitting shots, and it needs a much, much softer touch. Not as soft as that, though.
Yeah, she needed to kind of kill that ball a little, but, I mean, the 8-ball doesn't look like it's too good from there, but you hate to give your opponent a chance at the table, and he's doing the smart thing, but he didn't get there.
You see, even Semi is struggling with that touch there, because, again, that needed to be much more gentle. This ball will just open other balls up, and suddenly there's a gap, and, that hasn't worked out either. Well, the bank is on. Going to have to make it, though, because it's not dead set, I don't think.
Yeah, this is a terrible situation to be in here because, you know, I mean, you almost for sure are going to lose a game if you don't make this shot and run out. Yeah, any way you can get this in the hole. I mean, because you've got to get out here.
Got to watch the side pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's really lost a game unless Semi does something really stupid.
I mean, the similarities with the bar table's exactly the same, really, apart from that free shot rule, because it's controlling the table and plotting your way out. It's a simple strategy for all games.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have just shot that shot he did. I probably would have rolled up on these balls down on the rail because, you know, you don't want to take any chances at this point. I mean, as long as you don't leave her away to kick at this ball, you know, it's pretty safe to not shoot. I mean, these are all easy, but that first shot he took, I thought he could have missed that one.
Well, it's bad news for LS3 because it's going to go to 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, she's not doing that bad. She just needs to, you know, make a couple less mistakes here or there.
I mean, there was one obvious mistake, and it was either the first or the second rack, Steve, where the balls broke nice. LS3 was at the table, and she chose the yellows. But she chose them so quickly where she hadn't studied the situation ahead. And there was one red ball that was up the top left hand of the table. It was up here, and the 8 ball was here. And the problem immediately is that the red ball was the blocker for that 8 ball into that corner, and she chose the yellows. And as I predicted, she came to the 8 ball and couldn't get around on it, and lost the rack from that point. And that was a simple mistake right at the start of the rack. Things like that, people will make mistakes like that all the time, because if they're not looking for that problem when they come in on their visit, and if she had dealt with that problem and chose the reds instead, because the reds were all good as well. There was none stuck in rails, there was none locked together, they were all open, they all had pockets. And she made that one crucial mistake right at the start and lost the rack because of it. And she left herself too much work to do to get on that 8. Things like that. And she had the other chances that she lost. She could have had 3 racks that she pretty much gave away early on. And it's biting her now that she's now trailing before.
Yeah. Some interesting comments in here. They're talking about 2 visits. Yeah, I don't like that 2 visit the world. I mean, that's just too much, given too much. I mean, I think free shot's perfect, because that's very, very powerful. The 2 visits just too much, which is, I think, why black balls become kind of the de facto standard. I think the rule set's the best for the pub table.
Well, he could only do something daft here and hook himself behind that red.
No, he shouldn't here. I mean, this is pretty straightforward.
You mean like that, Steve?
That's just,
it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, that just sort of surprises me that somebody that plays at his level.
All he had to do was spin it to come up into the table, a wide open space. But again, he's kicked himself out of trouble. That's a good shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can run into balls sometimes, but you have to understand how you're going to run into them, and the speed.
Cue ball again.
You can't afford to run into a ball like that, especially when there's another blocker in front of it. Yeah, I think that was the second ball break hit the wrong way, like catching the top of the first ball or something, Somebody asked about Stubbs' match. No, I did not see Stubbs' match, although he did message me and tell me the pockets are too tight.
Oh,
it's like, yeah, because
that's because he wants to bang them in.
He wants to run out every time, and this is not that game.
Well, I said earlier, Steve, I'm glad that Stubbs' match was on like the middle of the night my time, because had I been off my work, I would have set my alarm and got up to stream it, and I'm glad I didn't, because I watched 5 minutes of it and it was awful. I mean, Ice Age, I said, has never seen a pub table in Virtual Pool 4, let alone play on it, and he was absolutely not at the races, none whatsoever. I mean, it was just an embarrassment to watch the 5 minutes I watched. So he has played he's probably played his first pub match last night. It looked like it, but it was not a match for Stubb. But I'll tell you something though. Stubbs got Zangetsu in the second round, and that's going to be a bigger test for him, because Zangetsu, I watched him. He's definitely no mug.
Yeah, well, as soon as Stubb plays somebody that understands the strategy, I think he's going to be in trouble. Well, this is sort of how I thought it might start going. Is Semi gets in rhythm, and he gets in rhythm, and he's going to be hard to beat. LS3 she's got to play clean and not make mistakes and try to put some pressure on him.
Now, for any latecomers that have come in just while this rack's underway, quick look at this lineup rather than the bracket to remind you guys, if you're interested in watching any of the matches. We've got a load of matches are all set, but Mal has arranged his first match against Brain Fell Out, and that will be Monday night at 6:30 British Summer Time. We've got matches on Sunday. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches on Sunday. I'll have a couple of them. Popman and Legit Matthew, they go ahead at 7 o'clock. Spudboy and Bankster's too late for me at 10 p.m. on Sunday night. And Mark Shark against Charlie Bravo on Sunday afternoon at 3. And Snake Eyes against Hazard, that's going to be next Tuesday. So there's loads of matches all set. And there's still more to come.
Oh, this is an interesting situation now. I mean, this is a tough situation. This table is not that easy. Semi's definitely got the advantage. The yellows are not sitting very good. She's going to need to play smart here.
That yellow doesn't go.
Well, I was thinking where she was sitting, she could have banked the yellow to the pocket that.
Yeah, if it's
Semi's red is, and if it doesn't go in, bank it at a speed where it hangs in the pocket.
Yeah. So Semi's only 2 away. And he's quite content to leave LS3 deal with the situation, just biding his time, ready to pounce. Now LS3's got somewhere to hide if she gets a chance, but Semi-Pro's going to try and nudge his red out, I would think.
Well, he may try to move the 8-ball here too. I mean,
he could nudge.
He can do both.
Well, he's
going to play strategy instead.
Yeah, he's deciding to take care of a potential situation and put a blocking ball in.
Well, the only problem is that that ball doesn't go now. So I'm sure he wanted to get it in a place where it went in the pocket, because then you can clear out the balls, get the 8-ball out of there. I mean, he put it in a place that blocks, but it's not a place that he can play the ball. So this game could take a while here.
Yeah. Well, Semi-Pro's now in a situation where he can play a lock-up shot up in the top corner if he has to. But he has to be able to see that red ball to do it. He could just kick off the top rail and chip onto the red and dead weight, leave it behind there.
Yeah, he can kick it. The only problem is that kind of soft kick, unless you've got the snooker on, you got to get a ball to the rail, and that could be risky. because you definitely couldn't hit that kick very hard.
Now, any of you guys in the stream from the UK, do me a favour, switch over to ITV4 and tell me what's happening in the snooker. John Higgins was 3-0 down this afternoon. That's going to scratch, is it? Oh. He was 3-0 down against Luca Brissell. Came back, won the last 5 frames. So he's into tonight's session 5-3 up. Race to 10.
Well, she doesn't have to. She should kick it on one of these yellows, not move this one here. Now that's okay too.
Yep.
I mean, he's going to get a situation where he's going to be able to clear those balls out. I mean, he's probably going to stick her back on top of the red right now. That's what I'd be looking to do. I'd be putting her right on top of that red again. Well, he's going to do something different.
Stubbs said last night to stick the field of view to 60, which I did. And the table then begins to look like a bowling alley. So I set it to 90 and it looks like a banquet table.
Well, I mean, you know, that whole idea of setting it to a different field of view is based on your monitor size and how far you sit from it. It's to get the view to look proper.
I couldn't even tell you the size, but I think my monitor's a 27-inch monitor. But I haven't done any of this mathematical stuff to check out what should be the right field of view. I just use 30 for streaming.
Yeah, I usually use 50 on VP4.
Well, this is the longest rack of the match.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to try to open it up on this shot. That's not a good idea.
Well, he's got a perfect shot to obviously nudge out this red and 8 ball. I think he's gone dead straight though.
No, he's got enough angle there.
Angle. So this is the crucial one. And he needs to have a shot though.
Yeah, he didn't control Whitey good enough.
And he's going to have to...
Now he's in trouble because... yeah, there's not a lot of cover. His best bet is to get this cue ball behind the 8 ball. That's what I'd be doing. Kind of stun it over. Maybe try to hit his red into his other red and stun this over and stick it behind the 8 ball.
Well, that's one way. That's one way of getting out of a problem.
Or you could try playing a great shot and not get away with it. Now he still doesn't have a shot. I mean, it was a good idea, but he didn't come up with a shot.
Now, would it be wise for LS3 if she gets a shot? Well, he's blocked the pocket now. I was going to say that if she got onto that yellow there, she could use that other red to make the pocket bigger, but that situation's now changed.
Yeah, that was a good shot there because this is tricky. Oh, she got a little help from a time shot.
Well, I thought she was going to play that with a bit of bottom English to try and tuck over behind the 8 ball there.
Yeah, unfortunately, he can go behind it. See if he came up with a shot. Yeah, not a great one. This definitely can be missed. And he's got to make it at this point. I think he's losing the game if he doesn't make this shot. Yep.
Yeah, he's okay.
Well, if you can run a 147s on the snooker table, you can make that shot.
So Semipro, one away.
That's the thing, is he pockets balls so well. I mean, this table is like easy for him. I think most players are going to struggle some with it, and it's like doesn't even have to think about it. He just shoots them in the hole.
Well, the bad news for LS3 is this match is over. unless she runs this table, because this is wide open. Reds are sitting nice. Yellows have got a slight problem, but everything looks good for me as far as the reds go.
Yeah, she's just got to get behind those so she can shoot them in the other corner.
Again, handy having an adjacent red ball where the 8 ball is, so this should be easy. Any problems you have in this situation are all going to be self-inflicted.
Yeah, she's taking her time getting to the balls she needs to get to. She's got the 2 together, and then the one that's blocked by the red. She needs to get to those balls.
This has suddenly gotten ugly because she's going to take that one up top there on the inside and then take this one down here, and now she's going to leave herself an angle in this red ball and trying to avoid running into the 8. So this is not great. It's got to be a dead weight drop on this red.
Yeah, well, you either have to spin it and then shoot it in the same pocket, or, you know, I didn't like that idea. Yeah. Well, she got away with it. She did get there. That was a good shot. I might even try to run into it.
Yeah, had to get that flush. Couldn't push that to the rail there.
Yeah, that's well, that was an impressive shot.
Well, of course, everything's against LS3 anyway because it's, you know, an alternate brake setup. So this is going to be a re-rack, isn't it? 8 balls going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is it's almost impossible for her to win because somebody's going to get, what, 7 breaks?
Yeah.
Or I guess it would be half of that, 4 breaks.
Well, it looks that he's got a tight yellow ball past that red into the corner there, up where the 8 ball is, but that yellow ball does go, so there's a problem with the 2 reds tied up. So
I think he's taking reds. He can make this red and run into those right now.
Break them out.
Yeah, just like that. There's not really any problems here if he doesn't screw things up. He'll go in between these balls, I think, and then shoot the one near the corner first. He's looking at something else. I figure he shoot this and cut it down the rail and deal with these 3 balls down here right now.
Now the question is, what does he do about the other red that's past that middle pocket, Steve? Does he take it down the bottom of the table?
That was terrible.
Rather than playing some sort of combo up the rail.
I don't think he should play the combo. He can shoot these other balls, although he's got himself in trouble here. He needed to go in between the yellow and the red, and he ran into the yellow and screwed himself. He should have gone in between them and then shot the one in front of the pocket.
He could well take this one and then come down the rail here and leave the last red over the pocket so he can come out and around for the 8 ball back into the same pocket. He's got room to do that, I think.
I don't know what he's looking at here. I hope he's not thinking of shooting that ball down there. That's a mistake. He could shoot the ball down the rail. This is a mistake. I don't know why he's shooting that ball, because that's taking a huge chance because you can't control the cue ball there. I mean, I think he got away with it.
I mean, it could have been easily hooked behind the yellow there. Easily hooked behind the yellow. Well, now it's going to be the case of taking this one and then, depending how good he gets on this last one.
This is over, and this is
just into the gap. So
yeah.
Oh no.
Well, he's just struggling. He's struggling moving the cue ball.
You know, why not just check the cue ball a little bit to avoid the collision?
Oh, he's really struggling with this cue ball.
But this for the match.
Maybe he hasn't been practicing on this table. I would think he'd know what to do with it.
And it goes.
Wow, a lot of curved bumpers got hit there.
So Semipro goes through. Well, LS3 was in that match, bits and pieces early on, but made those early mistakes that would have kept. I mean, it was all about LS3 just staying close enough, long enough to maybe start getting Semipro thinking a bit more. But In the end, it was a reasonably comfortable win for him. Now, who does he play next? That's the question. I never even looked to see who these guys were going to play. Where is he? So Semipro is through, and he play. Oh, I think Chico said it earlier on. He plays the winner of the Cheeky Chico Quagmire match, which is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. So that's the match I'll be watching then. And then if you guys are in the stateside, you want to stay up and watch a couple of other matches, you've got Spud Boy and Bankster and whoever. There's also the match in the afternoon. So that is it. I can go and watch the snooker now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on tomorrow. I'm interested to see Mal play. I think he's going to be pretty good at this.
Now, I promised the guys earlier on today that I'd ask you a question, Steve. If the majority of people, and I say the majority, I don't just mean me, I don't count myself as a majority, but if the majority of the people don't like the colour of that pub table, what's the chances of getting it changed to a colour that they like better?
Oh, I could change it. That's not that. I don't think that'll be that difficult to change the color.
To something I would suggest more conventional. And by that I mean some sort of wood effect rather than the pine effect. Or Cobra wants a purple table.
I'd probably just make it black. Make it black. I mean, don't they make black pub tables?
Well, pub tables. I'm talking from years ago, but pub tables traditionally are they're a bit like the grain in Hard Times, but not as vibrant as the grain in Hard Times. They're a darker grain than that.
Yeah, they're Formica or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, that's something to ponder. But Larry says black, so if the majority say something like that, then it might be worth maybe experimenting and give them a couple of experiences with one colour or the other colour at some point, if you've nothing else to do with your time, that is. But anyway,
yeah.
Back to work.
Well, Stubb may not make it out of the next round because I did watch some of that match that between Tornado Tam and what is it, Zangetsu?
Zangetsu, yeah.
And Zangetsu, he's got a pretty good idea how to play this game. I'm not sure Stubb can beat him.
Well, Stubb will take things for granted, but when you get somebody that's a bit more wise to the moves, then you've got to then start playing your game. And Stubb is going to have a test. I know that. I mean, Tam's so used to playing in the 10-foot cowboy table, he's never near a pub table, so he was hitting everything way too heavy in every shot. But Zangetsu's is definitely, he's not got mug written in his forehead, let's just say that. And if Stubb thinks that, then he might be in for a little bit of an experience. So I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully it's not going to be the middle of the night, and hopefully it's on my day off anyway, so it won't matter. But that's for another day, folks. Thanks for Steve eventually finding his way in. Short and sweet. Thanks for everybody watching. And I'll see you tomorrow at some time, no doubt. I'll be here in the afternoon for the afternoon match, and I'll be here for the match later on tomorrow night as well. So until then, stay safe, take care. We'll see you all again, and bid you good night, and same to you, Steve.
All right. Yep.
See you later, guys.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool, nothing else. No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool, nothing else. No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool, nothing else. No bar, no pinball